Floors. I'm ready.
Coach, just hit us with what the week's been like, what you guys are working on, what your focus is for FIU.
Well, of course, we got a lot to play for, and Spirit's been good and working hard. Glad about that. And anyway, what I want us to build on is the momentum that we played with in the second half. And North Texas got a heck of a team, very well defending champion, very old team. There's a lot you can learn from opponents, and one thing that I had respect for, and we tried to point out to our team is, in the second half when there were multiple times we had kind of taken control of the game, momentum going, and multiple times though, as we were in a position maybe to really take that thing down to the wire, they would make a key basket or make sure that their player of the year had the ball in his hand. What was his name? Hamlet. I'm just coming off practice floor, got my mind racing. I thought they showed a lot of poise. Of course, we knew they were well coached, and those are ways that you can stop other teams' runs. That's been a little bit of a situation, I think, for us. We've played well a lot of the time, and then we go through a stretch there, and it happened to us, of course, in the first half where I thought we were playing pretty well. Our guys were ready to play, or focused, locked in, and we go through kind of a stretch there where we struggle to score. They kind of go on a little bit of a run. We kind of gave into it before we could kind of get regrouped a little bit. And, of course, put ourselves in a little bit of hole at halftime. But, again, I thought at half, I thought our guys kind of accepted the challenge and came battling back. But so anyway, that's what a good experienced team does. They know how to minimize it. Basketball, of course, always is going to be a game of runs. You're going to have, but your good teams will minimize the opponent's run. And I thought that they responded every single, to their credit, again, giving those guys credit, they responded every single time that as we would make our multiple runs there in the second half. I'd like to see us do that. So, let's just use an example in the first half when we go from down 5 to down 15, in a period of about 3 minutes, that we missed some free throw. Look back at the film. I think we missed three free throws during that stretch. One DeAndre missed both of them, and we missed a front end of a 1-and-1. Those are type of things that give you an opportunity. We turn the ball over a few times. That all of a sudden, the game was back and forth. Anybody's game. We go from a 5-point deficit to 15 quick, and those are things that we've had a hard time overcoming. Every time this year, our guys respond back. They battle hard, compete. But we've got to do a better job there. So that's one thing that we've worked on this week is those type of situations.
Coach Ladner, you look at the standings in Conference USA, and if it was a norm like last year, you'd be in pretty good shape. Yeah. You'd be in playing shape to make the tournament. This year is totally different. How do you, as a coach, kind of? I know, like fans are seeing that, and maybe they don't realize it. But how do you, as a coach, talk to the team and say, look, we are getting better. Look where we were last year. Yeah. Where we are now, where we could finish.
Heath, of course, the bottom line is wins and losses. But anyone that knows much about basketball knows that we're a much better team than we were last year. And it's to be honest with you, it's probably not close. But we've got better players. We've got more better players. As our younger guys, and I say young, some of them may be junior college guys, but guys that are beginning to start playing prominent roles for us, they've gotten a lot better. They're starting to come into their own, and that's exciting to see. Of course, some of our older players, Tyler Stevenson's had a great year, of course, and only continues to get better. We got to try to find a way to get old Drano going these last few games. We need him badly. Needs to finish up a great career here. But, unfortunately, we can't control, Heath, what the league does. And just before the season starts, what you're saying is, and I hope our fan base would understand that last year they would have taken the top 12 teams. And that's what you're saying. We'd probably be in pretty good shape there with what we have remaining. But then right before the season starts, they decide to go to divisions, and we're going to take the top 6 out of each division. Well, we would have a good chance of finishing maybe even in 4th place on the other side if that's the way it was. But that's okay. I mean, we've of course didn't take care of our business in a lot of those close games that we've lost, and kind of been heartbreaking. So we can't control that, but it is unfortunate how that changed, kind of midstream, so to speak. And again, kind of the way our luck's been, which we haven't had much, it'll certainly negatively affect us. But saying all that and putting that in perspective is we can only control what we control. We cannot control those type of decisions. Again, what we could have controlled is winning some more close games where we maybe even could have had a better shot in our league, and we're not out of it. But we've certainly got to make sure we don't have any margin for error down the stretch, even as the way that the rules are set and conditions to get into the league tournament. So we've got to take care of our business the best that we can, do the best that we can, and then let the chips fall where they may, and worry about what we can control. And I'm of course, I think we're going to look back at this season and go, gosh, what if. But I'll be honest with you, Heath, I'm with basically our first recruiting class is what we've had this year, and kind of with the emergence of Justin Johnson and kind of the guy we thought we signed, DeAndre Pinckney, Tae Hardy, Jerron Pierre, of course. I'm pleased with our first class, and I know the wins and losses don't necessarily show it. There's nobody more disappointed than Jay Ladner. Nobody more disappointed the way the season has played out to this point with our staff, but than our staff. But I'm very pleased with our team, and I'm pleased with our progress. And it won't be long that those close losses will be turning into wins, and I'm very confident of that.
Coach, to touch on what you just spoke of, you talking about your junior college guys, and we've spoken earlier about, Coach Turk told you back in the day about how long it takes for those guys to kind of really
true story, Glenn.
But the thought of getting an extra year for some of those guys, if they so choose.
Absolutely. Huge. That would be a huge thing for us, of course, now, because then you can look back and go, hey, this year is just not a throwaway year, and you get them for 2 more years. I mean, that would be huge. And again, I think anybody that's watched us play will see, again, use Justin as an example, guy that had Justin been able to produce earlier in the year like he did now, where's our record? He began to emerge about the Louisiana Tech game, and then of course DeAndre has really. I think DeAndre Pinckney has gotten better and better, and this was a young man that missed most of his junior college season last year, and then unfortunately gets hurt here, misses 3 weeks with where he can't condition. People don't consider all that kind of stuff, but and we don't elaborate on it because we're not excuse makers. We don't make excuses. But hey, it is what it is. It's not my job to come in here every day. Well, if we'd have done this, we'd have done that. But I'm very pleased with where our team is, and I'm pleased with where their spirit, their fight, and attitude has been good, and I'm happy with that. Not happy with the win-loss record, but happy with that.
So, you talked about the way you played in the second half versus North Texas in the second game. Is there anything that you want? Sorry. Is there anything that you want to? Is there anything that you did in the second half that you're going to look to do in this game? Maybe to start it off instead of doing it the second half.
I saw. DeAndre Pinckney and I have a great relationship. DeAndre came to me after the game and said, "Coach, man," he said, I like us pressing. So and I said, well, DeAndre, of course, I kind of knew where he was heading. And I said, what do you like about it? He said, well, it kind of gets us going a little bit, And I said, good. I said, I'm a pressing coach. I said, eventually we'll get to the point where we'll press most of the game because that's just how I want to play. And I said, but of course, we've got a lot of other things to consider with personnel and quickness and so forth. But anyway, I think that you may see us in our full court pressure more, Heath. Of course, that decision, we're not quite ready to make that decision, although we worked on it this week. And again, I think I really liked some of the groupings that we had out there. I think, one of our more productive lineups against North Texas was, of course, Tyler Stevenson. I thought Tyler Mormon played well. I thought, of course, DeAndre, and then in the guard position, there was a time that we had Justin and Tae and Jerron, those guys, and of course mixing in Ladavius and Artur too. And I liked what I saw there in the second half. We were with a particular group again when we had Jerron, Justin, and Tae there. We were much more athletic. We were quicker, able to push the basketball a little bit harder. I liked that in our perimeter grouping. So that's certainly something that we've looked at this week, and I'd love to build on that momentum, Heath. And I think that was a good observation.
Sorry about my phone.
No, that's all right.
Hey,
I'm used to it with you, Heath. I'm
Coach,
kidding.
These last 4 games, and if there's more after that, what would you like to see out of your basketball team more than just winning? What do you want to just see from their effort?
Yeah, I want us to we'll make mistakes out there, Taylor, sometimes that I think are correctable. I think combination of fundamental and tactical mistakes. And by fundamental, let me use an example of a player not playing off 2 feet. All right. So let me give you this. This has been an issue with a couple of our guards, and in particular, Jerron, who's a young guy and learning. Jerron's athletic, 6'5". A big difference from the high school game and the college game. In high school, you can play off 1 foot. What I mean by that is jump. You can come into the lane and jump off 1 foot and get away with it. In college, you're gonna lose that basketball. You're gonna either travel, charge, or make it tough for you to make a nice pass. Whereas if you land off 2 feet, you're in more control. You can go score. So I'd like to see us grow in our fundamental area and knowing how to play tactically, being able to recognize situations that happen out there on the floor, like if a team's running an ISO or a clear out, that when the other personnel begin to clear over the floor, that you recognize that. And I thought again, giving North Texas some credit, North Texas immediately would recognize those type of actions. So I want to see us continue, and we're growing, and we're getting much, much better, and that's just going to come with experience. But I'd like to see us continue to grow fundamentally and also in just our basketball IQ, our awareness of how to play. I can't – Taylor, again, you guys have seen us play. Our effort has been I haven't had a problem with our effort all year. We haven't always played great, but our effort and battle has been good, and I hope that we'll continue that too these last 4. And, of course, we've gotten down to the point now where there's really no margin for error. We got to take care of some business. We want to keep playing. Our guys want to keep playing.
Tay, looking back a little bit, I talked to Coach Ladner. What do you think y'all did? Because he said the second half of the North Texas game you played really, really well. What is something you took away from that you noticed that the team did coming out the second half that may can carry over for the rest of the year?
Just being positive, not being too high, too low, especially in the game. Because it's a game of runs. It's a team good as North Texas, definitely gonna make a run, but if good as team as Southern Miss, we can go out there and make a run ourselves. So we just try to stay neutral, knowing that if we give it our all, we have a chance.
Tay, what are you guys expecting out of FIU?
We're expecting a lot of full court defense, 40 minutes plus of the game. A team that likes to get steals, run out. They got a good scoring guard in Day. We're gonna try to contain him. I feel like we got to be able to score the ball early when we have an advantage on offense when we get past the defense, the full court defense.
Hey, what do you think has led to so many all of y'all missed slow starts this year at the beginning of the game? What do you think that? What do you think that comes from? What has caused that?
I guess you could say it has a little bit to do with chemistry. I feel like with this returning team next year, we could all learn from these same lessons because we did it together. So just knowing that this is our first year learning each other, I think we're gonna be just fine.
Tay, obviously there's been stretches where you guys have played really well and on the road as well. When things are working for you, what is it? I wonder what it is you can tap into, whether it's on the defensive end or just the way you start. What is it that you guys are doing well that you kind of need to maybe try to get back to? And I guess when things are working for you, what can you maybe like try to harness and play for 40 minutes?
Well, I feel like whenever we go out there locked in on defense, I feel like we always have a chance. I feel like those are always our better games when we hold the opponent to a certain field goal percentage. So it always starts with defense, in my opinion, in the coach's opinion, in the team's opinion. So I feel like we just go out these last 4 games, give it our all on defense. The offense will come because when we're just more prepared on defense mentally, the offense becomes slower and smoother in our heads, and we can just read and react real fast.
Anything else for Tay?
Thank you all.
Thanks.